Hi there. Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to show you how to edit the data. So far, we've just looked at making things different colors and playing with labels. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all these colors and make it kind of more simple looking again. And I'm going to show you how to make a selection, and we're going to shut off the labels. So to do that, I'm going to click up here on 2013, right click, we're going to go Properties, and I'm going to go back to first shut off the labels, so click this right here, and I'm going to say Apply, and you'll see down here that they all disappear. Boop, there they go. Then I go to Style, and right now they're categorized by variety or varietal, and I'm going to say single symbol instead, and then it says, okay, simple markers, is this what you want? I say OK. There we go. So let's say now that you want to update this to 2014 and put in where all the graphs are going to go. Well, the first thing I'd say is keep a historical record for every, maybe not every month, but at least every year. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a copy of this file, and I'm going to call it 2014 _ grafts. So I'm going to right click this just so that we're editing a fresh file, and I'm going to save as. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff here that's going to be confusing, but the only thing you should know is that the format should be Esri shapefile. That's the only thing you need to worry about. And it might do it by default for you, but just make sure that the format is Esri shapefile. And then we're going to save it as, let's browse for a quick sec. You don't want to just type in a name. Go to Browse. And I'm going to save it in the same folder, Windfall map. And I'm going to call this 2014, and I'm just going to call mine example. Notice that I put an underscore right here, and that underscore is used instead of a space. You shouldn't have any spaces in your names. That's just kind of a rule with working with these types of files. So just say 2014 _ example. So now I say save, and now you can see that, okay, well, the name is right there, but it also tells the computer where to put it. On the desktop is where I want mine, under Windfall Maps. Okay. So this should all be fine. It should say WGS84 UTM Zone 18N, but I wouldn't worry about that. It's going to do it automatically. And I'm going to say add saved file to map so that it just pops right up. So I say OK. And it looks exactly the same, right? And because it is, we haven't made any changes. But I just wanted to save a new file so that our old file is still, it's still there, the blue one there. But we can remove it now, and we're going to be working with this new file, copy. So I'm going to remove. And oh my gosh, did I delete it? No, I didn't, right? I just took it out of my playlist, my little iTunes playlist thing, the layers. Here it is. If I go back to my library, my browser, and hit refresh, I'll see that my new file is sitting nice and pretty there. But my old file is still there. It's not deleted. So any changes we make to this file, it's fine. We can always go back and grab last year's. So let's update this and make it true to what it is today. Let's say that we want to add, I'm going to pretend I know what you guys are doing for grafting, and I'm going to update some of the wilds, right? The ones that say wild on them. So what I'm going to do is I'd like to select all of the wilds so that I can edit them, right? I could just hit this button, identify features, and click around, and I think that one's, no, that one's Cortland. I think this one might be wild. Where is it? Well, I clearly don't know the orchard very well anymore. There's a wild around here somewhere. Here we go, up here. Jeez, I'm grinding. There's Bianca, and there's another wild. Okay. But I want to get all the wilds in the whole orchard, and I want to be able to type in here to change what's been grafted. So I'm going to open up the table that actually is this, right? So the first thing to realize is that, get my hand back here, is that even though we see all these dots, it's really just a spreadsheet that we can see. So to get that spreadsheet up, we have to go back here to our file, our layer, and instead of doing properties to change the color and things like that, I say I want to look at the data. So show me the data, and I go open attribute table, and this basically just says open spreadsheet, right? So open that, and here they all are, right? Null just means that there's nothing in there. It's just as if it was empty. And that's kind of cool. If I just click and select some of these, you'll see that it turns them yellow when they're selected. It's not a very good color differentiation. It's green and yellow. It's all right. And then if I want to deselect everything, I hit this button right here, unselect all, with a little red box. There it is right there too. You can use either, it doesn't matter. But in order to get all of the wilds, so I don't have to fish around through this table and edit them, I'm going to double click varietal, and that sorts them from A to Z. And I'm going to click it again, and it does it from Z to A. And there they are, right there. There are all the wilds. So I'm going to select these guys just so I can see where they are. And there's one, there's one, there's one, there are the two, there's a couple more. Great. Well, that's helpful if I want to just show somebody, right? If you have Waylon or Jeff or somebody over and you say, here the wilds are, you can print it out pretty quick just with the dots all highlighted and then go out and print them or whatever. But I actually want to edit it so that I can see the words of what's being pruned onto each one next to each dot. So I'm going to go back. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the selection. And I'm going to go back into my attribute table. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I don't need to make any selections. All I need to do is make sure that all the wilds are next to each other. So you sort by varietal and then you get them all next to each other. And I can just, I can hit this edit button here, and then I can just double click any field and type something in. So for the grafts, let's say, okay, well, which, maybe this one right here, right? Which is this one down on the end. Let's say that you put grafts on that, and those grafts are Honeycrisp, and I'm going to use a semicolon and a space to separate them. Honeycrisp and Brayburn for some reason. Great. And now there's another one, and you click that and select it just to see where it is in the, and it's this one right here. Let's say that one you're going to put on Windfall Golden, and also another Honeycrisp. Crisp. Okay, cool. So you can do all that. It's very nice. Let's hit save our edits, and I'm going to stop editing. The reason I have to stop editing is because I want to be able to save it and have it be symbolized. So now I say, okay, that's great. Now it looks like some of these other wilds already have grafts on them or little notes, the Bianca, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all my selections. And let's say I want a map that shows where all the grafts are, and it just labels them. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go here, and I'm going to go to Properties, and I'm going to label again, go to the label, but this time I'm going to say label with grafts, right? And I hit OK. And it shows me all of the notes. there's Honeycrisp, Brayburn, Windfall Golden, Honeycrisp, and anything that's in that field called graft comes up. All right, what's interesting about this now, of course, is that I've changed the color, but there are a lot of dots, and it's hard to see which label goes to which dot, right? And some of these are no longer really listed as wilds because they are the entire tree now. These are very old grafts. But in that field called graft, right, some of it says dwarf stock. And now they're listed primarily by the graft that they were given way back when. Right, like those three right there. So I just want to show, let me clear the selection here. So what I'd like is, instead of this map, where it's hard to connect the text to the points, I want to show only the points that are wild, right? So to do that, I'm going to go up here, go back to properties, and what I'm going to do is select categorized, and then I'm going to say varietal, but instead of saying classify like I did before, I'm only going to add one. So I say add. I want that symbol to represent any place that is wild, right, for varietal. So any place that under varietal says wild is going to get that symbol and nothing else. So I say OK, and there they are. There are only the wilds with the grafts, right? So that's more helpful. You might quickly print that up and give that to a pruner. Okay, I'll catch up with you in the next video.